What's up guys, BltzZ here today bringing you another video. And today's video has some exciting potential for a breakthrough on all of our previous topics we talked about. What do I mean by this? Well, for a little over a month now, we've been talking about these huge GeForce Now leaks which talked about various popular old games making a return. Whether it was Final Fantasy IX being remade in a Final Fantasy VII remake style, or the epic mentions of Final Fantasy Tactics and Chrono Cross Remaster. A few videos ago, if you guys recall me saying that the more buzz or information we see which mention any of the titles from the leak list, will start to slowly but surely confirm its validity. Outside of the obvious God of War PC release, which was a given, but since then we have some other rumors and possible cold hard proof of Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster being a thing. A Reddit user named Dr. Nenard 3 days ago posted this very interesting information where they talk about how Eidos Montreal sent out a playtest survey and the questions in it were very suspect to say the least. This survey they took asked them general questions about the tactics style genre, specifically if they played Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Battle, and many more. Immediately they thought that this was in regards to triangle strategy, but then the survey continued and started to ask about Final Fantasy XII and the DS sequel, which if you guys remember, takes place in Ivalice, the same world created in Final Fantasy Tactics. And those two games were non-tactical by the way, so the question is specifically pertaining to the world in this aspect. You know, since the other games mentioned from Fire Emblem and Ogre Battle were tactics based. And to go an even more obvious step forward, they asked about whether or not they played Final Fantasy Tactics, the PlayStation 1 version, and the iOS Android version. This is very telling about the nature for this survey, specifically being geared towards Final Fantasy Tactics. They never ever in these surveys ask about multiple release versions of one specific game. The creator of Final Fantasy Tactics also made Ogre Battle, which is very weird for them to ask about since Ogre Battle has not had any releases in about over 20 years. There's no way any of this is just a coincidence, guys. I'm diving into this straight up and accepting that Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster will be in development soon and become a thing, and I'm all for it. The Reddit survey was posted on the site, and when you click on it, it says that only 24.6% of people that watch and love these videos are currently subscribed. Guys, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and it helps support the channel out a ton. We're almost to 50,000 subscribers and I believe we can hit that before Christmas. Don't let us just be a recommended channel on your front page. Come on and join the squad, guys. We're also streaming on Twitch, so you don't want to miss out on that. The GoFundMe is also going strong and I can't thank you all enough for the support. The insurance company sent me photos of the condo flood aftermath of them ripping out the floors. Progress is being made and hopefully soon we can get through this thanks to you guys' support. Now let's get back into this video. But seriously though, another Reddit user linked this survey and it's currently closed. The GeForce Now leak is going to start to get some slowly but surely confirmations over the next few months. What I believe at least. Which is exciting to think about, seeing a reveal for Final Fantasy IX Remake maybe in 2022 and possibly Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger remasters being a thing. Final Fantasy Tactics was a first time play for me only recently. And man, did I fall in love with that game. And trust me, if you go back to that first episode of our playthrough of Final Fantasy Tactics, I was not enjoying myself. The chat was really frustrating me with so much bombardment of different types of tactics to play Final Fantasy Tactics. But eventually, I took some time to really dive into it, and man, oh man, this game is something special. The job system mechanics and gameplay took me by surprise, especially considering how different the world traversing is from typical RPGs that I'm normally used to. To say the least, I was at first bothered by the world map, but then completely lost myself in discovering broken combinations of jobs, abilities, and of course, that good old-fashioned stone grinding. I really hope they don't change any of those aspects of course, but fix that PlayStation 1 Infinite JP glitch, because that's just way too tempting and I cannot withhold myself from using it, even though we did play the PSP version. Ramza is a great character and it'd be really cool to take a dive back into the world of Ivalice, and fingers are crossed that maybe they decide to add a bit more to the game in regards to the story or more guest characters and making them actually useful this time. For those that don't know, Cloud is a possible guest character in Final Fantasy Tactics, and unfortunately he's not that great at all compared to the other amazing options that you have in the game. It takes a long time to make him useful, and unfortunately his soldier job with its limit break damage output is borderline useless. Even if you pair it with abilities to speed up his attack rate, it still sucks. Sorry to say, Cloud, but you definitely are not a first class soldier. Spoiler alert for the original story of Final Fantasy VII, by the way, guys. But the cool thing about Cloud being in Final Fantasy Tactics is that it can explain the medieval chapter of where his mind went and what he was doing during that time. Xenogears, another Squaresoft game, came out a few years after this too, and Cloud also did give that game a little bit of a shout out during the medieval chapter. Kind of makes me wonder that if the Xenogears budget was actually not an issue, and they were able to fully include all the cut gameplay segments, would we have gotten maybe a side quest Easter egg of Cloud Strife joining Faye and the others in their journey? Kind of makes you wonder. What do you guys think about that? But I would love to see maybe a Dissidia crossover where we can recruit all the other members of the Crystal and even the villains themselves. To go even further, I wonder if they would consider a Warcraft 3 RPG Maker route and allow us to create our own battles and objectives against a superstar-studded team and create our own dialogue and stuff like that. Okay, I'm just wishing for a little bit too much there, I know, but still, it sounds pretty badass, doesn't it? And that wraps it up for this video, guys. Let me know, what do you all think about Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered coming soon? And what other leak confirmations do you think we will be seeing soon, since GeForce Now is slowly gaining steam on its contents listed? Final Fantasy IX Remake, of course, would be a huge deal for many, but Final Fantasy Tactics needs to be brought back and enjoyed by many newcomers. Seriously, I'm a newcomer myself only recently, and I cannot tell you guys enough how much I enjoyed and loved that experience. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More Final Fantasy videos are coming your way and you won't want to miss that. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.